Hi, thank you so much for tuning into this week's reading of The Story by Max Lucado. Thank you so much. This is really an online Bible study that I'm doing. It's kind of turned into that. It's been a bit of a week for a lot of people. A lot of people have been wondering how they're to use their time because there seems to be so much, lockdowns and everything that keep going on. And I have a lot of people that I speak to, whether they are clients of mine or friends of mine, family of mine, or my own family, wondering and talking about how much longer and how, I find myself bored or what to do or anything else like that. And I wrote a message to my friend today that I would like to share with whoever's listening to this today. I would like to share it as if I'm speaking directly to you, not just to my friend. This applies to anybody. This applies to anybody. And I would just like to take a moment to read it, and maybe you might be encouraged by this today. Maybe this is something that you were meant to hear today. I wrote this to my friend. Good morning, my friend. It was great to talk the other day, and truly, I'm in the same boat as everyone else. So I must have a mindset to achieve the goal that I set for myself. I'm up against myself. So my mindset is, I will do what I say I will do, and I am who I say I am. I had to completely change my mindset. Once I did that, the rest is the action from the change in my mindset. I write a daily, weekly, monthly plan and set each day to accomplish it. It is very hard because without my parents to answer to, I could essentially do whatever I wanted, and that's not who I am. So I am accountable to my family that I do have and to myself, and at the end of the day, I'm accountable to God. It's a daily routine I've developed after losing my parents and everything that happened from that. I just had to be the strongest I'd ever been to recover from the grief of it all. And I listened to a message yesterday that said, it's the end of an era. That's how it feels for me now. That person who was broken is finally being healed. I pray that it's a new era for you too. That you know in your soul that you are strong and worthy and enough and can do anything you set your mind to. I believe in you. And I'm glad we're friends. I wanted to share that with you today because I thought a lot about what I wrote to my friend. Because it's true. It isn't just something somebody does. Each morning my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and it is hit the floor running and have my breakfast and go to the gym because I have a goal. And if I sleep in, I don't achieve that goal. If I don't eat all my food, I won't achieve that goal. If I don't do that. And so each day, though we're in this incredible different time, I find myself day to day busy. Maybe it's been because we've been self-employed most of my life. My whole married life, I've been married to Ken for 29 years, and we've been self-employed all that time. So I have to be intentional with my time and how am I going to use my time, and especially how do I use my time after suffering grief and loss and depression and betrayal. So many things like we read in the scriptures here, in the story, the way Max Lucado has written it, the story. I can relate to so much. And then, reading what is significant and the questions here for the chapter Deliverance, it really makes me think about a lot of things. So, and even today, every Thursday, I know that I would like to sit down and be intentional with my time, be dressed, get ready, do my hair, get ready and be able to talk and have it be a different day where I dedicate it to reading this book out loud, being intentional about what we're talking about, being right here in the now and present. And that is exactly what I choose to do with that time. My phone can ring, the emails come, and people want my time, but so does God. God wants my time as well. That is something that I really feel during this time, that as, you know, prior to COVID happening to the world a year ago, prior to that, there was grumblings in the desert. There was a lot of people who grumbled and grumbled and grumbled. I would have been one of them. I'm working too much. I need a break. I'm too tired. This is going on. All these things are going on. And then all of a sudden, halt. It all stopped. Everything stopped. Hang on, wait, go back in your homes. Everybody come together, families together, and things were different. But then, so things changed and happened. And then we don't think, maybe we're acting like the Israelites, grumbling in the desert, saying, well, God, maybe I want it back the way that it was. And he's like, well, I heard your grumblings. You don't like now how I have changed it. But none of this is a surprise to God, so there has to be a good reason for why this is all going on. And if one of the good reasons is that we're doing this Bible study together, then that's a great thing, because we're using this time to have God come out of our mouth and come together on that and learn. This is a huge learning curve for me, and a Bible study that is so exciting. I've not done a Bible study like this before. I've done a lot of Bible studies, and then there's been a time where I haven't, and I really miss it, and I miss the fellowship, and I miss doing that. And even right now, because we can't be in the church together, doing it this way is, I'm hoping that people are tuning in and wanting to read and learn and grow and do this together. So thank you, and thank you for letting me just share that everybody is struggling right now to just keep going, because at the end of this test, how did we do? How did we do during the test? Being in the moment, because we want something else, but during the time of waiting, how did we wait? That's the question. How did we wait? And so I'm glad we're waiting doing this. So let's just go right into the questions, okay? Deliverance. Now, I didn't get a chance to say the questions, but I did put them in the listing. So if you are online and going through the listing, they're on there. If you have your own book, okay, they're on page 474, Deliverance. Question 1, what was the significance of Moses' birth? Well, that is a huge question, because there's so much that is significant about his birth. Well, the first thing is Pharaoh had ordered all the Hebrew babies to be killed. He was saved. He was put in the reeds and saved by Pharaoh's sister. So saved by an Egyptian who had status. So then he was not killed. He lived a wonderful life. That was incredible. Then, more as well as being significant to that, is that then he was able to see exactly once he was able to say, I'm Hebrew, those are my people, and I relate to them. That's significant that he is Hebrew and can relate to his people. So I think those are super significant things about Moses' birth. There's many, so I'd like to hear what yours are too, but those would be the top two for my choice here from reading what we did. Question number 2, how did God display his concern and love for his people after hearing their cries and groanings? This really is a huge question. There's nothing that he wouldn't do. How did he display it? He sent plagues. He asked nicely. He asked Moses to go and ask nicely of Pharaoh. But he knew that Pharaoh wouldn't. He knew he wouldn't. And his heart was hardened and sent plagues and plagues and plagues. And they were horrible. And here's the thing. It isn't, it's about Pharaoh, but it affected so many people, right? It affected so many people when God sent these plagues. It affected all of Egypt. And so he sent plagues to help his people. So when people say, I really think a lot of people think that God is meek and mild and doesn't. This is a mighty God. This is a God that means business, sending plagues like that. And let me just see here. And then it says in here, the third question, in what ways was Moses qualified to lead the people? It's a 2-part question. The rest of the question goes on. In what ways did he feel he was not qualified? So, in what ways was Moses qualified to lead the people? Well, he was Hebrew. And so he was able to speak to his people. He understood those people. And then in what ways did he feel he was not qualified? Well, he felt he couldn't speak to the people. He felt that he didn't have the words, he didn't have the confidence, and he could not speak. And so he felt unqualified, which is also a way that I had felt as well in the beginning of this Bible study. It's one of the reasons why I chose to do this Bible study online, is to get over my fear of public speaking and reading out loud and being confident in that. So thank you for coming along with me for that. Question number 4, have you ever felt unqualified or unable to do something as Moses did? Yes, even just right now. And even, it took a lot to just live life and to be an entrepreneur and to be a mom and a wife, and then to rebuild yourself after loss and grief. And even now, how in this ever-changing world, people feel unqualified. And how do you handle it? I hope that you handle it by knowing that through God, anything is possible. And believe in yourself. That's how I'm able to do it. And I hope that, and that's how the characters that we have been reading about have done it, is with the help of God. Without God, they can't. With God, they can. And so that's how I find myself doing that too. Question 5, the story notes several amazing miracles in the deliverance of the people from Egypt. Do you believe God performs miracles today? Why or why not? I absolutely do. Every day, all day, my whole life. And during the first lockdown last year in 2020, we made a lot of videos. I made a lot of personal videos talking about those incredible miracles. And even just one of them, when I was 17 years old and graduating high school. In my graduation yearbook, under ambition, I wanted to be in hotel management and have identical girl twins. Well, I do live in the hotel industry and so forth, and that's incredible, so it's kind of right there. But I also did have those identical girl twins. More of a miracle, and how God works in this, is one of the reasons why I wrote that I wanted to have identical girl twins was because I knew a set of identical girl twins. Only one at that time. Beautiful girls, friends of mine still to this day. And what is really a miracle is after so many years, God has brought us back together now and doing this Bible study together. That's an incredible miracle. He knit us together way back then when we were just young in school and had no idea. And then I did have the twins that I asked God for. And they will tell you today that they're a miracle, that God asked for them. I don't have twins in my family. They're a miracle. So yes, and God healed my mom many times, provided many miracles of healing. Number 6, what can you learn about the character of God from the story of the Israelites' deliverance from slavery? This is huge. This question is huge. There's nothing he won't do. There's nothing he won't do for your journey with God to be. He has it all planned out. He knows the plan he has for you, and there's nothing that he won't do to help see you succeed in that. That's what I see. He sent so many plagues and so many things, and then did one of the worst things ever, was to send death, to kill all the firstborn as well, and of the Egyptian babies, including Pharaoh's own child. He did that. And so there's nothing that he won't do. God is God, and he will help you to succeed with the plan that he has planned for your life. Now, those are the 6 questions. That's part A. So each segment, again, is roughly about 25 to 29 minutes. So please tune right back in, and we are going to jump into chapter 5, New Commands and a New Covenant. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we will see you right back here in just a moment.